Hey everyone, this is Jack speaking. I know that there is many people who live from paycheck to paycheck, so I thought it would be nice to highlight 5 ways to never get down to your last penny ever again. First and most important thing I believe is to make sure you always produce more than you spend. I know many people with incredibly bad habit of spending absolutely everything which is coming their way, and even beyond that by taking loans and mortgages, etc. Unless you learn to control yourself and your spending habits, for the rest of your life you're going to put yourself in bad situations where you have to sell something you really love, or you have to work a lot incredibly cheap for a while, or even worse, because you left yourself without any other option. Producing more means earn much more than you spend. I know you want that holiday or that super expensive new phone or whatever else you have in mind, but learn to delay these expenses. The more you delay them, the more money you have aside to never put yourself in a bad situation again. Do you think that I don't want to fly to Hawaii for a more exotic video, or that I haven't considered upgrades in cameras worth £1,000-2,000? Of course I do, but I'm delaying these things as much as possible because no matter how much I'm willing to invest in what I do, I want to make sure that I'm producing much more than I'm spending. It will happen at some point, but I don't think it's the right time yet, so I delay it as much as I can. Well, in my case, I earn much more than I spend, but I earn it from trading and painting and not from YouTube. I haven't reached the 1000 subscribers yet and 4000 hours watch time required for monetization. The second most important thing to me is to make sure that my money makes more money and not just decrease by inflation. We all have good days and bad days, but I want you to make sure that when your good days comes along and you earn good money, you don't just go and spend it all on the first thing that you have in mind. And not just during your good days, but all the time, no matter what. Instead, delay what you want to buy as much as possible, no matter how important you think it is, and invest your money and make them more rather than spend them on something you don't really need. If you're looking for ways to invest your money, have a look down in the description. The exchanges you see there are trustworthy and they charge fair fees, and you can choose any of them to start building your portfolio straight away. Depending on which exchange you go with, they might even give you a welcome bonus. Or you can go with all of them. As I said in another video, it's always good to have your portfolio split on at least a few exchanges. This way, when your bad days comes along, you can always lean on your investments like a safety net. If you haven't done this yet, please pause the video and hit the like button, as this helps me a lot to boost this video and the entire channel. The third most important thing to me at least is don't touch your portfolio unless you cannot avoid it. I mean, don't start withdrawing money from it the second you feel like, oh, I don't feel like going to work today. Or you chose to invest this money, so unless you want to go back on your decision and spend your entire portfolio, which by the way, you should consider an emergency fund only, I would strongly advise you not to give up after the first small obstacle ahead. If you start doing it on a regular basis, soon you'll have no portfolio and you'll be back where you started from, your last penny. These funds are there to provide you with a better future. As much as I would like to say you don't know what's going to be tomorrow, so just live today, this would be the worst possible advice to give you from a personal finance point of view. We all want to live as well as we can, but if you don't ensure your future and spend everything you earn, how much of a future do you think this will be? I've had many times when I had to withdraw from my portfolio, but every time it happened, it was because I had no other option. So no matter what you do, consider your portfolio your last resort when it comes to covering your financial needs. The fourth way to never get down to your last penny is to ignore the obstacles. There is and there is always going to be things who tries to stop you from moving forward, like war or crisis or whatever messed up thing can happen out there, even if it's concerning just your life. Simply learn to ignore what is happening and move forward no matter what it takes. The faster you adapt to the situation, the better you'll be financially. As Charles Darwin said, it is not the strongest of the species that survived, nor the most intelligent, but rather the one most adaptable to change. Life knocked you out? Stand up, dust yourself off, lift your chin up, and move on as fast as you possibly can. Nobody is going to do it for you. If you look through, let's say, the past 100 years, you'll find many companies who failed to adapt and eventually they went out of business. Same applies for you because you are the one who keeps you busy. In my case, I work as much as I possibly can, but of course I have my me time because I'm only a human after all. I went as far as setting my lunch breaks at 2:30 British time while painting, because this is when the New York Stock Exchange is opening, so I can deal with the trading while eating. And if the client, for example, is a company and all of their other employees have a different lunch break than what I need, I simply tell them that I cannot take the job. Of course, I can't tell them that a different lunch break than what I need is going to cost me money, because this is going to offend the client. And last but not least important, avoid business that doesn't sound right. Very often they call me with impossible requests, which tells me straight away that this client is not willing to pay for what my services cost. If I don't ditch them straight away, I will end up wasting my time, and I really value my time. I've had many cases where I gave someone a chance despite the fact that I could smell something is not right there, and we went to extreme lengths with the client until I get paid for my work. Trust me, it's better not to go there. Don't get me wrong, I'm the last person on the planet who is afraid of confrontations, but it's pointless. If they don't feel like you're worth the money you're asking for whatever reason they have in mind, they should just do the job themselves. Not hire you, get you to do the job, and try not to pay you, which is when I turn my other incredibly pleasant side and they find out how quickly things are going to escalate to the point of no return. And we are talking about incredibly fast and well done jobs, not something messed up. Whenever I screw up, and it happens to anyone, I turn to my public liability insurance in case it's something big, but luckily so far there was nothing big, and I face the consequences myself if it's something small. Like me dropping oil-based paint a few months ago in front of a property I was painting, and I went straight to the client and I told them that I'm not getting paid for today and that I'll go home as soon as I deal with my own mess. This was followed by hours of intense cleaning with a jet wash and white spirit, but at the end you could barely see that there was any accident ever happening there. Thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. See you next time.